Welcome to another day in Kuala Lumpur. It's been a few days since I went out exploring, and that's mainly because of all the time I spent buying a new camera and learning how to use it. But I have some of the basics of my new Panasonic G85 locked in my brain. So I think I can take it out onto the streets and see how it works. I'm operating it with a Boya BY-MM1 external microphone. So the sound should be different as well. Better or worse? I guess that's what I'm going to find out today. And I'm heading out to explore an area that I'm calling Old Little India. And while I'm there, I'm going to track down some food for a 5-snack challenge. First, I want to explain why I call this area Old Little India. And that's because it really is the original Little India in Kuala Lumpur. This came as a surprise to me. My first idea was to go to the official Little India, which is in the area known as Brickfields near KL Central. But while I was reading about that area, I discovered that it was not the original Little India. Little India was originally in an area kind of north of Masjid Jamak LRT station and the Masjid Jamak, the mosque there. And in 2009, the government decided to move official Little India to Brickfields. They spent about 35 million ringgit developing that area, putting in those arches that everyone knows from Little India. They built a fountain there. And the reason they did this, from what I read, is that that area in Brickfields had kind of wider streets, more room and space for developing businesses and attractions and things like that. So, since I always like to start at the beginning of things, before I go to Brickfields and that Little India, I'm going to walk to Masjid Jamak, track down Old Little India, and see what that neighborhood looks like. It ought to be interesting, I hope, and it'll be doubly interesting as I fumble around with my new camera and see how it works. And I think the main street there is called Jalan Masjid India, and that's the street that I'm heading towards, and it's right alongside the Klang River, so I'm going to follow the Klang River on my way up. Let's go for a walk. On today's little walkabout, I'll probably talk about my camera more than I usually do. You'll have to forgive me for that if you're not interested in technical things, but it's a new camera and some people might be interested. One of the main reasons that I bought a new camera is that the stabilization in my old camera was broken. So if I was walking along like this and talking, the background and everything else would be jumping a lot and be really jittery. This Panasonic is known for having very good stabilization, so if I made a wise purchase, the background around me should be kind of smooth as I'm walking along. There shouldn't be a whole lot of bouncing up and down. So, can't wait to see the video footage for myself, and then I can see whether the stabilization was worth the money or not. The stabilization should also work quite well if I'm walking along and holding the camera like this. There's nothing very interesting to see here. I'm afraid I'm right behind the central market building, but just from walking, you should be able to see, even from these posts on either side, you know, how stable or how bouncy the video looks. Another big reason that I bought this particular camera, or a new camera in general, is that I wanted to be able to plug in an external microphone and hopefully make the sound of my voice a little bit more distinct. My old camera, the Olympus OMD EM5, had no microphone jack, so I could not use an external microphone. I could only use the microphone built into the camera. And Olympus actually has a pretty good microphone. It's probably the best, on-camera microphone there is, but it's omnidirectional, so it picks up noise from everywhere. All the traffic, the sound of the river, construction, and my voice would get drowned out. with this shotgun microphone, it's kind of focused on my mouth, and you should be able to pick up my voice more clearly even when I'm in a busy area. That's the hope anyway. It's not that noisy here, got a bit of construction and river noise, but even the sound of this river would really bother my Olympus, and I'm hoping that this Panasonic with my external microphone will handle it with ease. I'm walking along the Klang River right now, and this is the River of Life project that's underway along the whole length of this river. Some parts of it have been completed around here, but you can see there's more construction going on over there, and they're building another bridge in this direction. So here's the walkway along the River of Life, but it's blocked here by construction, and I assume at some point that'll be opened up. Another interesting thing about having an external microphone is that I figured out a way to have it pointing both forward and backward. So even though I'm walking with the camera pointed ahead of me, I've turned the microphone around, so in fact it's facing towards me, towards my face. And that should still maintain good sound quality. At least that is the hope. Another reason I bought a new camera was to improve the focusing, and this Panasonic G85 has 5 or 6 different focusing modes, which I hope will give me more flexibility. Right now, for example, I'm shooting with tracking mode, so the camera is locked onto my face, and no matter where I move around, it should maintain focus on my face easily. That's another one of the hopes. We'll see if it actually works or not. And ahead of me there is the Masjid Jamek, the Jamek Mosque, and you can see how this area has been developed with the River of Life project. The sign over there reads River of Life. And actually I've never tried to go up into that little glass tower over there. I'm not even sure if it's possible. I think I'm gonna head over that way, take a look. A big part of the River of Life project is to install these signs that give a lot of the history of Kuala Lumpur and Malaysia. This particular sign is talking about how the Klang River divided the British colonial district from the original mining district along Ampang Road on the east side. And there were a variety of bridges connecting the two sides, and these bridges that they've built, you know, for the River of Life project are kind of emulating those original bridges that are connecting the two sides of the river. I found the observation deck here as part of the River of Life project, but apparently it's closed. There's a sign on it here saying that there is a work in progress, a construction area, and do not enter. And that should have been an interesting test of my camera. Did it focus on this sign or not? I guess I'll find out later on. I'm still walking along the River of Life project, and this always happens to me. I'm supposed to be going to Old Little India, but I found this region in the middle on my way, so I get distracted. You can really see what that sign was talking about earlier, the difference between the two sides of the river, because behind me you can see there's a lot of old colonial buildings, and in fact there's quite an established and developed tourism area back there they call the Colonial Walk, where you can see a lot of the old British administration buildings and other buildings from that era. And then right beside it is, you know, the river behind me and the Masjid Jamek, and all of the mining operations were on that side of the river, and that was connected with this side through all these small bridges across the river. So yeah, it's a beautiful area. I really love the development they're doing here. You can see they've even got kind of a water barrier alongside the river. And I've been here at night one time before, and it's really quite beautiful at night. It's all lit up. Maybe I'll come back here with the camera one night. I'm slowly getting closer towards Old Little India. Very slowly. There's another beautiful bridge that they built as part of the River of Life project. And right on the other side of me, on my left, you can see one of the buildings surrounding the Independence Square on the other side. And I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to save that for another video. Got to stay focused. I'm heading towards Little India. I said I wasn't going to talk about this building, but apparently I lied. I came across this sign as part of the River of Life project, and it calls this building the Sultan Abdul Samad building. And it gives the whole history of the construction of the building down there. And they have a really nice map of the whole district that you can follow with the ever handy "You are here," so you can figure out where you are. And there's Independence Square, and a lot of the buildings of the Colonial walk are around the square. So perhaps I will take this walk someday with my new Panasonic G85. I just came across this large display for the River of Life project. You can see the name of it here. It says that they rejuvenated 10 kilometers of riverfront so far, and I think they plan on doing a lot more than that. But the interesting thing I saw was this map here, which shows where I'm heading towards. I'm currently where am I? Yeah, I'm currently right here, and where I'm going is this district between the two rivers, and they call it Masjid, India. And as I said earlier, I believe this was the original Little India before it was moved to Brickfields. Now this is a good test of the Boya microphone and my new camera, because I'm standing beside a very busy street right in front of the Masjid Jamek mosque and LRT station, and there's a LRT line up above me which bounces the noise around, so it's really quite noisy here, and I'm curious if the microphone can still pick up the sound of my voice and it's cutting out the sound of everything around me. I think I finally reached the area that I've been calling Old Little India. I've crossed the river and crossed the busy street across from Masjid Jamek. And I think the street Jalan Masjid India is just ahead of me here. We're getting into a very kind of a busy market area. And I think I found what I've been looking for. Here's a sign for the actual street. Jalan Masjid India up there. We're going to head in this direction and see what we can see. Oh, it's actually a very narrow little market street. No cars or motorcycles could fit down here, I guess. And this first part of Jalan Masjid India actually has a roof over top. Protection from the sun and the rain, I guess. And I think I've made it into the heart of Old Little India. And of course, there's a big construction site right in front of me where I came out of the walkway. And right across from the construction area is the center of this neighborhood, the mosque, the Masjid India, right there. And if I remember right from Google Maps, this building is called the Malaya Mansion. And there's another very similar large like apartment building complex like this over there called the Selangor Mansion. And I kind of want to walk around the Selangor Mansion because I think there was a lot of food and drinks there. And I found the building that I think is called Selangor Mansion. And I've always loved buildings like this, kind of old apartment complexes. You have all the people living in the upper floors, and then on the bottom all the businesses. And I think there are courtyards inside this building as well, though I don't know if I'll be able to go inside. Reminds me of buildings that I saw in Hong Kong, like the famous Chung King Mansion, and they also call this one the, like I said, the Selangor Mansion. And I wonder where the word mansion comes from, why they use that in Asia so much. I've fallen way behind on my 5-snack challenge, so I better get moving here. I might not get 5 snacks before the battery on my camera runs out. I was going to get a drink for my first snack because I'm very thirsty, but I spotted this little stall right behind me here, and they've got some interesting little snacks there. So I think I'm going to try a couple of those first, see what they are. Oh, and it looks like they also have a drink. Maybe I can get a snack and a drink here. Ah, the famous Karipap. I just realized that I'm cheating on my 5-snack challenge because I already had these once before at the Chow Kit market. They're called Karipap. But so the first thing I saw today, and they smelled really good, and they were 2 for 1 ringgit. So I decided to get a couple of them. There it is. Ow, 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 ow. Came right out of the oil, so it's actually super hot. I can't hold on to them. They're too hot. Burning my tongue. I have no idea how these video clips are turning out because I'm getting very confused about all the settings on my new camera, particularly the focusing modes and the microphone. But we'll see how it goes. I spotted some kind of a stall up ahead of me selling drinks. From this distance, I can't tell what they are, but according to the rules of the 5-snack challenge, if it caught my eye, I have to go try it out. So that will be my drink and snack number 2 on the 5-snack challenge. Let's go check it out. So there is the stall over there. And from a distance, yeah, I still can't tell what kind of a drink it is. But it's not very busy right now, so let's go check it out. Hello. What kind of drink is this? Oh, fresh milk. Oh, okay. One of my many talents is always going places at the wrong time, and it happened again with this drink stall. He was selling 2 types of drinks there as far as I could make out, but when I tried to order one of them, he said it wouldn't be ready until 4:30. It's about 3 o'clock right now, so I ordered the other drink, and then he said that one wouldn't be ready until 3:30. So no matter how early or how late I go looking for my snacks, I always seem to be too late or too early or something. So I got to keep looking for my first drink and second snack. There appears to be a lot of construction going on here in old little India. Got a big structure behind me going up. All around these other buildings, you can see all this construction along the sides everywhere. And I'm walking around the what's this building called? The Selangor Mansion, and I'm hoping to find food or drink snacks on the other side along the Klang River here. And this looks like a pretty good spot. I'm down at the Klang River now. You can see the Petronas Towers there in the background. And of course, a lot of construction along the river. I assume part of the River of Life project. And the construction is continuing all alongside this building, all through here, and all along the outside of the Selangor Mansion building over here. And yeah, my luck is not great because most of the little stalls along here seem to be closed as well. But I'm going to try to find a drink somewhere in there. I see signs like this all the time that talk about tea cutting or tea pulling, all this kinds of stuff, and I have no idea what any of that means. This is the ABC Bistro Cafe. ABC stands for Always Best Choice, and maybe I'll go in there and see if I can get a cup of tea. Well, I think I found the drinks corner. So I think you have to come here to get drinks and then over there to get food. So let's see what kind of a drink I can get. Looks like they have fruit drinks. I'm sitting outside the ABC Bistro Cafe, at a small table here beside the street. I went inside intending to order kind of a special drink of some kind, but I kind of got stopped by the language barrier. I didn't know how to order or what to order, and they just kind of looked at me like, well, what do you want? And I always want to know, well, what do you have? But of course, they can't explain that to me. So I ended up getting a cold tea, milk tea. And I wanted to know really if this was pulled tea, like on their sign, or cut tea. What makes it cut tea? I have no idea. But that is what I ordered, and it was just brought to my table. Here it is. So here is my cold milk tea. I can feel down at the bottom that it's still actually kind of hot. And then it's colder up near the top. So I guess it's brewed hot, and then they add all the ice. So I guess it's a fresh tea. So I waited for my milk tea to get nice and cold. I'm gonna give it a sip. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah, it's got a nice light tea taste. I don't know how else to describe it. It's basically iced tea, and tastes quite good. I find I can judge a drink whether I first take one little sip and stop, or whether I end up taking like 5 big pulls right away. And that's kind of what I'm doing here. It's also because I'm so thirsty. Oh, yeah, I needed that. So that is snack number 2 done. My iced tea at the ABC restaurant behind me. I mean, the tea was good, but it was kind of a stressful experience, again, because I have no idea how to order. You know, at first I sat down and waited, but nobody came to me, so then I had to go find where to order, and they looked at me like, well, what are you doing here? And the same thing happened when it was time to pay. I had no idea how to pay. I watched all the people around me, but I couldn't really figure out the system. Everybody seemed to be doing something different. So I just went up to the cash register, and of course he looked at me like, what do you want? I said, well, I want to pay for my iced tea. But he thought I wanted to order iced tea, and I had to try to explain to him, no, I drank an iced tea. There it is over there on the table, and now I want to pay for it. He looks at me like I'm out of my mind. And we went around and around for a long time until a waiter came over and explained that I had an iced tea. And again, I have no idea why it was so complicated, but I can never quite figure out the basic system. Like, do you sit down and someone comes to serve you? Do you go up and order? Then how do you pay? You know, unless you grow up here, you really have no idea what to do. It's just the way things are. So let's go find snack number 3 in old little India. That was kind of an interesting moment. I was standing here on this pedestrian bridge after having my iced tea, and I noticed all these pigeons alongside the river, and then a man came and fed them a big bag of seed or something. And I have to wonder why he would bother doing that. Like, yeah, he just came to the edge of the river and dumped this whole huge bag over, and that's probably why there are so many pigeons here in this one spot, because they've gotten used to being fed. But I don't know why he would feed them so much seed right here. But anyway, it also demonstrated another reason why I like this new camera. It came with a 12 to 60 millimeter zoom lens, so I can zoom in on things like the pigeons, which I couldn't do with my old camera. and my old lens. Still, no snack number 3 yet for me. It's too bad I'm not like a pigeon. The way they got fed it's a lot simpler, you know? You just throw the food on the ground and they come running in and eat it. You know, it's not a great system, but at least it's a simple one, and they understand how it works. I think I found my 3rd spot for a snack, and it's right behind me there. I remember this place from when I was looking at Google Maps, and it's quite a well-known little tea house or something like that. I'm gonna pop in there and have a cup of tea, maybe hot tea this time, or maybe something to eat. I'm not sure. We'll find out when I take a seat.
Wait, karo. Plus G plus 2 dot. முட்டை பாதி முட்டை எடுத்துங்க ஸ்பெஷல் போட்டு விடுறேன். முட்டை இருக்கு காலே. முட்டை இல்லங்க ஐயா சொன்னாங்க. கலந்து போட்டு விடுங்க. கலந்து கொஞ்சம் போட்டு விடுங்க. Roti. You are America?
No, from Canada.
Canada. போதும்டா.
So this little snack stop has turned out to be a very successful one. I went to the Mansion Tea Stall. I remember seeing that name now on Google Maps, and they made me a very good cup of hot sweet milk tea. I really like this a lot. And I got some video of him preparing the tea, and now I'm thinking that it's pulled milk tea because they pour it from container to container, which kind of aerates it, and maybe that's why it's called pulled milk tea. Someone will have to explain that to me later on. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my cup of tea and maybe have a snack here as well once I'm done my tea. So here is one of the menus at Mansion Tea Stall. And I've learned a few words. I've learned that minuman means a drink, and makan means to eat or food, and bungkas means to take away. Also makanan means food. And I think they're famous here for their roti, so I might try that next. So I did decide to have snack number 4 here at the Mansion Tea Stall, and I was trying to order some kind of a roti, and I think I ordered a very special one. So I got a roti with 2 eggs and curry and a whole bunch of other stuff, and I still don't know what it's called. I have no idea, but here it is. So here is my snack number 4. I haven't started it yet. Looks like a challenging snack. So this building here is where I've been having all of my snacks. That is the Selangor Mansion building, and as you can see, it's right beside the Klang River, and it's a fascinating place. The last snack that I had there was really kind of interesting. I happened to be passing that restaurant, and one of the men that was making the tea, he actually called out to me and said, "Hello, you know, come on in." He invited me in, so that was great. So I went in, and he made a cup of tea for me with that classic pouring from container to container method, and I still don't really know what that's called. Is that called pulled tea? I'm guessing that's what it is. It was very good, and while I was sitting there, I was watching them make the roti, the flat bread, or Roti Canai, I think it's called. So I decided to get one of those, and I was going to get a very simple Roti Canai with maybe an egg, because they had that on the menu, like Roti Canai telur, which is egg. But then the waiter, he said something else, which is like maybe special, and on impulse I just said, sure, give me whatever that is. And he brought me quite an interesting dish, and I think it was roti canai with some curry, with some sauce, with 2 boiled eggs, almost like soft boiled eggs, and I have no idea what that dish was called, but yeah, it was really quite good. It's probably something I would never in a million years order on my own, but as part of the 5 snack challenge, I got to try it, so that was very successful. I think I have 1 snack left because that was snack number 4. So I'm going to go walk around the building, one more side of this building, and see if I can find 1 more snack. Maybe another drink. It's a hot day and I'm pretty thirsty. I'm just walking down the main street here called Jalan Masjid, India, once again. And it's amazing how busy it is and how much construction there is going on. And I have no idea how this traffic is going to get sorted out, because this whole road is blocked off by traffic and there's only 1 lane open, and yet it seems to be 2-way traffic. So nobody seems to have any idea who has the right of way. And I just have to fight my way across. And as a pedestrian, you end up back here again, out in the middle of the street. Unbelievable, really, how much construction is going on in Kuala Lumpur. This road is completely narrowed because it has construction on that side and on this side. And I think I found the street that used to be the heart of Little India. It is called, if I remember correctly, Lorong Tuanku Abdul Rahman, or something like that. And it's a long street that seems to be largely closed off to traffic, and it's lined on both sides with all kinds of shops, stalls selling food and drinks and snacks and all kinds of things, and as kind of a carnival atmosphere. I'm down at an end of it where it's kind of empty, but I'll turn the camera around and you can look down in the direction where it gets a bit busier. And I'm going to walk in that direction and see if I can find snack number 5. So there it is down there, the old main street, I think, of Little India before it was moved to Brickfields. You can see they're selling balloons, and there's a lot of people here, a lot of pedestrians, and a lot of food and drinks, and a big truck blocking my way just after I said there was no traffic. And for my 5th and maybe final snack, I think I'm going to get a cup of fruit. Maybe a drink as well later on, but my last official snack, I think I'm going to turn into some fruit. And what do we have here? We've got pineapple, mango, watermelon. So I have my 5th and final snack. Here it is, number 5 for the day. And buying it was an interesting experience, of course. I bought it from this stall that you can see behind me. And there happened to be 3 men standing there. One sitting on a motorcycle smoking a cigarette. Another one was just sort of smoking a cigarette, and he started asking me questions about where I was from. And then there was a 3rd man. And then I wanted to buy something, but I had no idea who to talk to. So I was just going from man to man, asking, like, how much is this, and who do I pay, and what do I do? And nobody seemed willing to step up and admit that they were the guys selling the mango. And finally, after quite a while, the guy sitting on the motorcycle, he looked at me and said 2 ringgit, and then I paid the other guy who was holding a bunch of balloons. So who's in charge of this stall, I'll never know, but I have my snack. Let's try it out. I think I've reached the end of my visit to old Little India. I'm still here on the main street. You might be able to hear the call to prayer coming from the main mosque here. And I'm slowly walking towards Masjid, Jamek, and back towards my hostel in Chinatown. I have no idea what the video experience will look like for this trip. I'm feeling pretty frazzled, to tell you the truth, just because I had such a hard time figuring out how to use this camera. There's so many settings on it, and the microphone, I have to flip it around, whether I'm holding the camera facing towards me or away from me, and I kept forgetting to do that. I kept forgetting to change the focus mode depending on what I was doing. So I was so busy just trying to learn how to use the camera that I barely had brain power left to focus on where I was. And then the crowding and the noise on top of that. So it was a pretty crazy little trip. We'll see what it ends up looking like on video. So I think I will end the video here with the call to prayer. And hopefully I learned a few things about this camera, and things will go a bit smoother the next time I go out into Kuala Lumpur, and I will see you then. I think I'm going to call an audible here and substitute something else for my snack number 5. I didn't like that fruit at all, and I'm going to get a mango lassi instead. And there it is there. And I think that will be a much better way to end my day. Hello. Could I have a mango lassi? Okay, just one. Here I am with my substitute snack. So technically snack number 6, but I'm going to call it snack number 5 in the 5 snack challenge. I can't even speak anymore, I'm so tired. So this is a mango lassi instead of mango susu. So I guess a mango susu is made with milk and a mango lassi is made with yogurt. So it has a slightly different flavor. That is so good. Yeah, in this hot weather, I find it really hard to actually eat. I lose my appetite when it's so hot, but I could drink stuff like this all day, every day. Last snack for my trip to Little India. See you in the next video. The bonus question for the last video was about Kampong Baru. I asked you how many villages were combined to form Kampong Baru. Answer: 7. 7 traditional Malay villages were combined to form Kampong Baru. Bonus question for this video. The official Little India is now located in a region of Kuala Lumpur called Brickfields. My question is, why is Brickfields called Brickfields? Where did that name come from? Put your answer in the comments below. Answer at the end of the next video. Travel tip 34. Get those teeth checked. Someone who has been watching my videos suggested this travel tip, and I think it's a good one. Thanks for the suggestion. The basic idea is that a bad cavity can completely ruin a short trip and can cause a lot of problems on a longer one. So as you are making your plans for a big round-the-world trip, it's a good idea to go see your dentist as part of your preparations. And make sure that you go see your dentist early enough. Going to the dentist 1 week before you're going to depart on your trip is not a good idea. You probably won't have enough time to fix any dental problems that he finds. So you should go see your dentist maybe 2 months before your trip and maybe even earlier, and that will give you enough time to fix any problems. This is an interesting travel tip for me, because in the old days it was much more of a problem. If you were overseas in a remote area and you had a problem with your teeth, chances are you couldn't even find a local dentist. Things have changed quite a bit today though, and there are a lot more highly qualified dentists all over the world. In fact, dental tourism is actually a thing now. People from the United States or Canada, for example, will actually fly to a country like the Philippines to get their dental work done because it is much cheaper there. For the same price as seeing a dentist in Canada, you can actually get the dental work done in the Philippines, plus have enough money left over for the vacation. Even though there are now many more dentists all around the world, it's still a good idea to have your teeth checked before you go. Who wants to deal with a cavity in the middle of their trip? So, before you head off on your trip, get your teeth checked.